So the course evaluation can be done multiple times. So if you got like a 40 on your first attempt, you're allowed to do it again. And the My Math Lab program will allow you it will take only the highest score. So you can take it multiple times for practice purposes or to try to achieve your 60. The 40, the 30, the 20, whatever scores that you make will not be included into your overall score as far as in My Math Lab Plus. Yes, you'll still see it visible as far as those scores, but they're not taken into the account of your overall grade. Only the highest score will be taken as far as the chapter evaluation. The chapter evaluation is not exactly like the test, but it's similar. So again, the more problems that you do, the better practice you have, because usually if you take it 2 or 3 times, you should have a different question for number one, a different question for number two, and then it kind of cycles back again. Once you've done it like 4 or 5 times, you probably see the same question all over again. But it has everything you need to do as far as this is like a good review for you to do before you test. And obviously you have to do it before you test because you have to get an 80 on everything, a 60 on there, and then it unlocks the test for you. So yes, there's no penalty for the homework assignments um, for these here, but when we get into the test, you understand why. So in the chat box, why do you think there are some students that turn in assignments late or don't do the work at all? If you don't mind answering that question for me in the chat box. What are some reasons why students turn something late and then or they don't do the work at all? And I'm going to pause the recording just in case any student has a question that doesn't want to be recorded. All right, so let's go. So testing will be 2 hours. There'll be 5 tests in this course, 5 chapter tests, and then you have the final exam. But every test is all the tests is going to be 50% of your grade. Again, proctor track is required. If you take a test without going through proctor track, your test will not count. So I don't know how plain and clear that would be. You're not allowed to test at your house without it being recorded so I can watch it. Handwritten notes and calculators are allowed. So if you take good notes, you have your book aside, you are allowed to use those on the test. Remember though, organization is going to be a key because you only have 2 hours. You can't keep flipping through your book and pages trying to figure out something or reteaching yourself in the span of 2 hours. It's just not going to work. There'll be certain tests, and I will tell you in Moodle or through email or through in the class which tests I will actually require you to upload your work. There'll be some tests where I don't need to see any work with it, but there'll be certain chapter tests that you have to upload certain problems, and they will be probably labeled so you won't be confused and saying, "Oh, is it this problem? What is this problem?" Over. I will let you know what the directions will say, and you will have to write out on a sheet of paper, take a snapshot, upload it up into and submit it into Moodle for it to be graded. You have 24 hours to complete the test on test day. So let's just say September 30th. I don't know what day that is, but just for instance, September 30th is your test day for chapter 2. You have the full 24 hours from midnight until the following midnight on that day to take a 2-hour test. It has to be 2 hours in the span of 24 hours on that day for you to test on that day. You do not, for this particular one, if you are ready to test, that means that you have to did all the 80%, the 60% like we discussed before, so it can unlock. If you properly have done that, you do not have to come to this Google Meet to take your test. You can test 8 o'clock in the morning. You can test 3 o'clock in the morning. You can test 11 o'clock at night. It does not matter to me. As far as when you test, and you do not have to attend the class. I will verify your attendance as soon as you take the test on that day. My Math Plus will document the time and the date that you actually took it, and I will say that you are present on that day as far as testing. You do not have to go to the Google Meet that I have here to come up with the test. Is that clear for everybody? I want to make sure that's kind of clear, everybody. So chat box, please. Chat box, chat box. Everybody good? Yes, yes. Great. So everybody understand, no questions about how the test is going to go. Again, you don't have to show up for class for that day. If you're ready to test, Once you test, you complete your test, you're present for that day, and you can do whatever you need to do for the rest of the day. If you need if you need to take the test early, so maybe that you're going out of town or something for vacation, I need some kind of documentation needed to take some kind of to take some tests early. Is the reason for it. Why I have taken twice. It's called proofreading, Miss Nancy. Okay, so if you need to take it early, you just have to let me know. Yes, you will be counted absent on that day. So again, September 30th is your test day. If you test on the 29th, you are still absent on the 30th. I'm not doing false documentation to Nash Community College saying that you were here on September 30th. You were not here on September 30th. So you will be marked absent on that day. But however, your test is in like you're supposed to on the 29th. So if you needed to test early. But other than that, I need you to go to the assignment due date page in Moodle and make sure you circle on your calendar when the test day is, so you set aside 2 hours in order for you to test. Now, what happens if you're not ready to test? So say that you are missing some. Again, remember we talked about earlier in the last one that all your sections have to be 80%. So maybe you got some 75s and you still haven't gotten to the chapter evaluation to unlock the test. This means you're not ready to test. So what happens for you is it is mandatory, like you are today, to connect with me on Moodle, on Google Meet. I'm going to post the link in Moodle for anybody that's not ready to test, and you will be getting online with your camera on, and you're going to be completing your work assignment until for the full 9 to 11:30 class time. So what you're doing is you're completing the necessary assignments in order to test. Again, on that day, if you do not test on that specific test day, so on the next day, if you have not tested, then your letter grade would drop for your test. So instead of you getting 100 or an A, you automatically the highest grade you can get is a B. Instead of a B, the highest grade you can get is a C if you make a B on the test. So that's how it drops one letter grade if you are not test on time. So again, procrastination, all that kind of stuff is not going to be acceptable for this particular one. So again, there's no penalty if you miss a due date for the homework assignments, but there will be a penalty if you don't test on the test day. You have 7 days to complete the test. So again, if the test was on September 10th, you have until September 17th to complete the test. And no, it does not keep dropping a letter grade every single time. There's only one time thing. When you retake the test, if you make a B, it drops to a C, as far as what your test score would be. After the 7 day, you won't be able to test. It will stay at zero. So what happens is anybody that does not test on the test day, I'm going to go ahead and put in a zero. That lets me know that you have not tested on test day and you're working towards testing to get it in. If you go past the 7 days, on the 8th day, the zero remains zero. You cannot make that test up. After 7 days has passed after the test day, it just stays at zero. But if you're ready to test within that span of the 7 days, the zero will go away, and then whatever you make if you make it 85, then again it'll drop to the next letter grade as far as a C, a B to a C, and the zero will not be able to be changed. So you keep that zero for the rest of the semester. So hopefully, again, once you do all your work and get to the test, everybody should be good as far as that. That's the only penalty involved is for your test. Everything else, I accept late work. I accept things after the due date. But again, the test is the only thing that has the penalty attached to it. There are no retesting, so whenever you test, when you decide to test, you cannot retest on anything. Whatever you make on the first time go around, that's what you make. Now, if you have a doctor's note, then and the doctor's note must state that it prevents you. So September the 7th is our test day. The doctor must say on September the 10th, or 7th, whatever I said. You are not this so and so John, Jennifer, whatever the case may be, cannot test on that day at your house on at in front of a computer for whatever reason it might be. I understand that these hospitals are kind of everybody's skeptical to go in hospitals, but even if you have a note from the Medic Clinic, somebody here that's saying that you cannot be able to test on that day, then I won't put any penalties on your test. So long as I have that documentation, scan it, send me an email so I can have the documentation, and then we'll discuss on when you be able to test on resume testing after your condition gets better or whatever the case may be. Any other excuse? I can't think of any other excuses that might come down, but this is the great time for you to actually let me know if you want to put in the chat box any other. This is your time to vent or let me know. I can't think of any other excuses, but if you have any other reasons why you can't test in 24 hours, 2 hours on that day, you need to let me know in the chat box, and I'll visit the chat box in a few minutes. The final exam will be comprehensive and be 20% of your grade, and you are allowed 3 hours to test on the final exam. Private tractor is still required. Handwritten notes and calculators are still allowed, or the book. And just in case we all make mistakes sometimes, and I'm that kind of a person to realize that nobody's perfect. So whatever you make on the final exam will replace your lowest test score. That does not include the 0 that you decide not to take the test for. That's not what that means. If you completed a test that from start to finish, attempted problems, whatever your score, whatever you make on your final exam will replace it. So if you make it 50 on one of your tests and you make it 85 on your final exam, that test that you made a 50 for will be your new score of an 85. And I would do that for one test, on one test only. How does that sound? Does that sound good? So the only test it does not it will include is the one that you got a 0 for. That would never get replaced by anything. There'll also be labs, participation, and quizzes in the course, and that's worth 10% of your grade. There'll be 3 labs. If you look here where it says the little hand here, this is where you submit your work. So you take a snapshot and upload your work here. All work must be shown. All labs will require work. Every single lab that I give you will require work, and you must upload it into the Moodle link. The second link is just for your answers, just to submit your answers. So I have like a Google form for you to submit just answers. So just in case somebody can't submit, they're having trouble submitting work or whatever the case may be, you should still be able to go to the little globe in Moodle and submit just your answers. So in the lab, I just want just answers for the globe. I want just answers for the hand. I want to see your work associated with the globe part. So there's always 2 ways that you're required to submit your work for labs. There will be in-class quizzes in my MathWise Plus. The quizzes won't take long. They'll be in my MathWise Plus already designed. They will be available during class time only. This will not be something that you do outside of class. If you miss class, you miss the quiz, and you won't be able to make that up. I won't be able to keep up with all that. Who missed, who was here or not. So if you had a quiz and you will not be able to attend class, then that quiz will not be made up and it will remain a 0. Bookwork and worksheets, all this kind of stuff here, practice problems that I might give in class. You again have to practice and make sure everybody's good with submitting your work by picture, or if you have a scanner at your house, whatever the case may be, scan it and then upload it into Moodle for work. I don't really want any work in the email. Just everything should have a link for you for Moodle purposes. So here's the assignment due date in Moodle that you will need to go. You will actually need to print this off or take a picture and put it in your phone. because this is going to be your guide for the class. If I make any changes to the assignment due date, I will let you know, and I will actually put it in bold or a different color, letting you know that this date gets changed. I'm not always saying, because say for instance we're not finished chapter 2 and it's time to test. Well, I will make changes in the assignment due date and adjust all the dates so we have be able to have the time that we need to test. I'm not going to try to do that too many often because again, it messes up a lot of people's schedules and calendars. So what's set is set. But again, I am going to try to be flexible if we as a class, if we're not really grasping a certain chapter. Another thing too is I have about 150 students with other 6 other classes. So I am very sorry and I apologize now that if you send me a text or email asking me, Mr. Hanson, when is chapter 3.1 due? I'm going to always respond that it's due today. If you see me in Walmart with my mask on and you say, Mr. Hanson, when is lab 2 due? I'm going to say it's going to be due today in Walmart. I cannot keep up with everybody. All my classes have different due dates. Some of y'all saying, hi, this is Ashley. When is something due? Ashley, there are 5 different Ashleys in 6 different my classes. That is not enough help for me to tell me when something is due. So again, my answer to when something is due is always going to be today. I understand that I'm lying, but I'm trying to give you an answer so I won't ignore you. And as far as your question is concerned, this is the reason why I asked you to take a picture of it and make sure you post it on your refrigerator door or your laptop or something where you document so you'll know when something is due. Now, I will more than happily ask if something doesn't match up as far as maybe something's due on Moodle and something's not lining up to your time to do. I'll answer that question. You just gotta let me know, Mr. Hanson. It says this on one document, and then it says this on a document. What's the real document? Um, Again, this is what you need to follow at all times. This document here, this piece of paper here. Whatever it says in Moodle or my MathFast Plus, just let me know that it's different from the this paper, and I will make the change. But this paper is going to be um, what we're going to follow for this class that everybody needs to do. The link for it is it'll say assignment due dates in Moodle. So make sure you click on that to get to it. Again, you'll need this for your first assignment that I give you. That will explain you have to upload this. So the sign up for Remind, I think everybody did a wonderful job listening to my welcome email and my Moodle that's in Moodle. I'm sorry, my welcome email that I sent about Remind. I have the majority of you, and I will go through my Remind and make sure I have everybody before we leave out today. Oh, I couldn't remember what final statement was. I was like, what did I put that there for? Okay, now I know. So this is going to be the only my last. I'm saying this because a lot of students have this stigma about uh, they're bothering their instructor with a bunch of questions. So I'm going to go ahead and put this out there now because I'm not going to keep saying email. You're not bothering me. You're not bothering me. I don't want you because I'm not going to keep saying that. So this here, you're never bothering me. So if you see me an email of a question or concern or a text message or whatever, you have allow me at least 24 hours to respond to it. If I don't respond in 24 hours, then send me a friendly email saying, Mr. Hanson, I sent this, but I didn't get your response. Can you please help me out with my question? I don't mind doing that. But again, I be able to answer any text message when I want to. So I might be sitting down with my family eating the, dinner, and I choose not to do the test because I'm having time with my family. So don't think you're bothering me at 5 o'clock in the afternoon with a question. You can send me a question. I do not mind that with that email because I'm going to be the one that's going to open the email or open the text message and respond back to you. So you're never bothering me. Obviously, if you send me something at night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not responding to that until the next day because I'm asleep. And you should be too. Uh, Try to research. What I do want you to do is try to research all resources before contacting me with your questions. A lot of you had a lot of questions about, for instance, what does the textbook look like? And in my emails that I sent twice, in the email I had in my question answer slide the picture of the textbook and where to get it from, the IB number and everything here. So all I ask you is to try to go to Moodle, any emails, research first, and then once you cannot find it at any place, then send me your question and saying, Ms. Hanson, what kind of book do we need for the class? Because I'm pretty sure I have everything listed if we all just read and take some time and read and click on some things and do some research and scavenger hunting, kind of like in the program. So as soon as you go to the link, either in the email or the Moodle, and sign up for Remind, I need you to text me as soon as you join. A lot of you already done that, so if you've done it, don't do it again. I don't need the double whammy of all your text messages. What I'm looking for when you join is your first and last name and a snapshot of your face. Once you have done that, you should have seen a thumbs up icon with me. If you not received a thumbs up icon from me, I am waiting for your first and last name and a snapshot of your face. Again, I want to make sure for multiple reasons. Remind me is connected properly. I have a picture of your face so I know who I'm looking at when I'm looking at your project tracking, and who's testing. And again, I want to make sure, again, that we are connected and you receive, and we're back and forth as far as text messaging. This is the fastest way to get an answer from me. Because my emails don't pop up on my phone all the time, but text message does pop on my phone. And just like for you, your text, anybody that texts you pops up a lot faster than email will. But don't feel free, please, to send me a email if you need to. My office number, again, because of the whole COVID stuff, I'm in and out of my office, so I'm not. Phone number is probably calling my office number. It's probably not going to be the best thing, but you're more than welcome again to do that. You might have to leave me a little bit longer, up at 24 hours, if you send me a phone number call. But if your internet is not working, your phone is down, then obviously give me a call. Well, you can't. If your phone is down, you can't call me. Go to a payphone. I don't know. Anyway, I am the only person that's going to be reading your text messages. So anytime you see me a text of your picture, your first and last name, Miss Hanson, I don't understand number 2 on chapter 4, whatever case it be, it only comes to me. None of your classmates see any of this stuff. I don't know if you know what Remind Me how it works, but I can send out mass text to everybody, but you only respond to me when you send something back. So it's just between me and you. All right. So what's going to happen is now I'm going to give everybody a break. It is now 10:14. We'll say 10:15. If everybody be back in 10 minutes, so 10:25, I will resume this Google Meet again. So if you want to turn your cameras off, you are more than welcome to do so, and come back at 10:25 for me. Does that make sense? Are we good? All right. I don't forget to hit record on the actual day because again, I want to make sure everybody. So, and y'all probably have to kind of remind me to help me to make sure recording. Give me a help on. All recordings will be available to 24 hours after my. 24 hours later, the it will be posted in Moodle for you to kind of go back in, watch it slowly, or maybe have more questions that you might have, stuff like that. So hopefully we have all the questions we can have in class. But if we can, if you can't think of the questions now, then you can watch it later, and then maybe that will help you out also. Here are a couple of your supplies that again is going to be helpful for us. I put an alarm clock in the middle because I don't want anybody to miss class, and I don't want everybody to be late or coming in here. So if you can set your maybe phones to have a little reminder saying class time is about to start in 15 minutes or something like that on your cell phones, that's kind of going to be a helpful tool to help us to make sure we are on class on time. And remember that this is a Google Meet, because I know we all probably want to sleep until 8:45, then wake up, brush our hair. We don't really need to brush our teeth because I'm not smelling any of y'all breath anyway. So, and then get in front of a camera and then have class for that. So, set your alarm clock to make sure that you have a reminder that this is a class routine that we're going to be meeting every Monday and Wednesday. So, obviously, attendance is important and mandatory for this class. If you happen to be out or you cannot connect for some reason, you need to send me an email to let me know that you're going to be out. Being tardy and leaving early is going to be unacceptable. So once again, I want to make, because especially if I can't get this little join thing, I don't know why it's doing that. It's not supposed to do that. If everybody's using their Nash, oh, I think I know what's happening. I don't know if any of y'all or your laptops, if you have a different email address. Maybe you have Google, you have YouTube, not YouTube, Yahoo. As far as that, if your laptop is set on that, even though you went into email and clicked on the link, I want everybody to try their best to remember to set your computers on the nashcc.edu account before you try to join this session. So long as if your computer is set to nashcc.edu, you won't ever have to ask me to join. You will just automatically enter the room. Wonderful, because again, I don't want to stop my lecture to say admit this person, admit this person, admit this person with it. So make sure everything is here. So immediately if it asks you to join, switch your account to your Nash account. That's still going to be so important, and I think that's what happened this morning. And if any of y'all want to test that out, again, we can set up a side Google Meet, and then to make sure you can actually just come in without me saying admit. That will help me out tremendously. So again, 9 to 11:30. This is going to be your commitment agreement. So today is going to be your commitment agreement. If anybody has issues with staying on this Google Meet from 9 to 11:30, we need to talk. Not during this session here, but sometime after. We need to get together and figure out what's the best route for you, because this is my expectation for you to be your commitment agreement that you're going to have to do every Monday and Wednesday. However, if you are missing for 2 consecutive weeks, so that's 4 classes, you automatically get withdrawn from the class. So that's the Nash policy. That's not my policy. You're responsible for getting caught up for turning any kind of late assignments in. I remember I have 150 total students in all my classes, so I can't keep up as far as somebody missing an assignment. It's your responsibility to go to Moodle, figure out what you have missed, all that kind of stuff, because I'm not going to search you out. We're all adults here. So check the necessary resources to get what you have missed for the class. I can't stress this enough, how important communication is for me. I know sometimes communication can get embarrassing. What I had in the past, a lot of my students, is they get into the middle of the semester, halfway through, and just decide to, I don't know, I guess they're not successful, or the grade is just too low, and they go ghost. Please, I do not want that to happen. If anybody in here is having an issue, whether your grade is too low, family issues, or whatever, please let me know what's going on in your it makes my job so much easier, and then that also shows me that you respect this course. So if I send you, if you choose to discontinue this course, please don't make me search you, because what I'm going to do is if you miss in class or whatever the case may be, I'm going to send you a text, I'm going to send you an email, and I'm going to continue doing that until I figure out where you at, what's going on. It'll be wonderful if you just go ahead and be upfront with me, no matter how embarrassing it might seem. Um, to send me an email saying, Mr. Hanson, I'm just not going to finish the course out. It's not because you're being a failure. It's not because you're quitting. It's not has nothing to do with that. It's got to be some stuff that I want to help you through first before you make that decision. And again, I don't want to kind of search you out because I have too many students to be searching to figure out what's going on with the class. Like I said, I would much rather teach and assist than trying to figure out where you at. So your first assignment, and this is also posted in Moodle, is you need to send me an email, and I want you to compose a new email. Do not click reply to one of my welcome emails or something. I want you to go to a new email, type in my email address, and whatever the subject area says in Moodle. That here, and there's three things that I'm looking for in that email to get yourself a 100% as far as your grade for your email assignment. This will be due before class at 9 a.m. So those of you that I know, my procrastinators, on Wednesday at 8:55, if you send me an email with this assignment, I know you're one of my procrastinators. This assignment should only take 5 minutes. So let's not wait until Wednesday before class starts to send this email. The second assignment that is going to be due on the same day is going to be a quiz assignment. And this is what you can find the link in Moodle. So I'm going to actually recap some of the questions that the quiz I was telling you about. This is the quiz. And either in your chat box, or I'll probably either call on you or the chat box or whatever, and see if we can answer some of these questions, because I want everybody to get 100 on this assignment also. And my computer is taking all day to load, so please excuse. So if you go when you go to Moodle and see these questions here, now I don't want anybody going to Moodle now and trying to answer these questions. Don't do that, because a lot of this stuff is I haven't finished yet. So again, you type your first and last name in, type in your please reply, put your area code, your Nash email address, and number 4 says share your thoughts about how today's class went. If you have any questions on here, now this doesn't necessarily have to be a question. I need some as much feedback as far as this virtual stuff. This is everybody's first time doing virtual, and I want to try to make it as comfortable as possible, and I want to get rid of all these bugs. So be honest. Nobody, I'm not dropping you or failing you because you send me your honest approach as far as here. Now, there's some things I can't control. There's some things here, but I do want to make this again as comfortable as possible, and I just need y'all feedback. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Number 5, you have to find on your own. However, so let's go with, is it Shania Bethea? Shania, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Please forgive me. I'm gonna try to get it right. If you don't mind turning your say your name again for me. Shania. Okay, Shania, can you answer number 6 for me? Explain my reasons for not assisting students if they're having issues connecting to Google Meet during class time. Does that make sense to everybody? Somewhere in that form of the answer. Thank you. So, somewhere in that form of an answer is what you need to put for number 6, and that's I just want to make sure everybody's clear of. I'm not trying to be rude and not help you. It's just I can't spend 45 minutes figuring out why your mic ain't working. Number 7, what is the website? And I think I'm going to give you that again, but it was on the Moodle page as far as the on my lecture slides as far as what the website was. And let's go to number 9, and let me go with Brittany Thompson. Can you answer number 9 for me?
Yeah, you can't do the test. You'll have to go on Google Meet with you.
Yes, that's correct. So you have to you won't if you're not ready to test, you have to get on Google Meet with me and finish whatever assignments that you need to do in order to be able to test. Let's go with is it Carter or Knox? Did I say that right?
Yes, it's Knox.
Knox. What is the answer for number 10?
That's right. To this to that that's
Is it at me or just or was everybody was he breaking off everybody? Can everybody
that's
hear him
right.
clearly? Can you get thumbs up if y'all heard him clearly? Or is he coming in and out?
I can hear you.
Okay. I think it might be my end. People getting online on campus or whatever, and my internet is getting a little slower with it. But hopefully, Knox. And I didn't get to hear his answer, but I'm hoping that he said remind me. Okay, good. So enough of that. Let's finish up. So what's going to happen now? If you don't mind pulling up those 4 questions. And hopefully it won't take as long, but we're going to try to make sure we get out on in class on time and have some time left. I might have to do this. I might want to come back to this and do it then maybe on to Wednesday because I want to make sure we have all this. So I'm going to bypass this part for just a minute because I definitely want to hear from everybody, but I want to make sure we get everything in before class ends. I don't want to rush at the end. So again, so I'm sorry, push those off to the side. Let me finish up the rest of this part. So for my Maths Plus, today, especially today, before we head, we're going to make sure everybody logs onto my Maths Plus. If you have your access code, go ahead and pull that out to the side and have it on your desk because we're going to put that in. If you got the book from somebody else, and this is what the access code looks like. If you bought the book for somewhere else, or got it from a friend and you rather pay online, you're going to click the buy now and they'll give you the code as far as this is what the code look like and you put it in. Those of you that's waiting for financial aid and don't have the code necessarily right today, then you're going to click pay later. Everybody must connect to my Math Plus before we end at 11:30 today. So if you have the code, great. We're going to put that in. If you have your credit card information, get your credit card ready and you can buy it online. Or if you're not ready to pay for whatever reason that might be, you're going to pick pay later. And what happens is for pay later, you have 7 to 10 days to get the code. So they'll give you a temporary code where you can go ahead and do your work. And then the code will actually appear whenever my Math Plus is ready for you to put the code and make sure you're here. Now make sure you save this code in a good place because once you get it, you can't just enter the code like tomorrow. So say that you got the book and everything tomorrow, you clicked on pay later, you can't enter the code. You have to wait till the 7 days is up before you to enter the code in. So make sure it's in a really safe place because this code is very expensive. So this is the website for it. If you want to go ahead and open up a new tab and click on this website, this is what the screen should look like. For new students, it's going to be your first initial, your middle initial, your last name, and your last three digits of your ID. It's the same as your email address. For passwords, it's going to be your birth date, but don't use the zero. So if you're born in January or February, just put 1. Don't put 01 or 02. So obviously today you put 8, 19, 20. That's your 6-digit or 5-digit password that you put into my MathLess Plus. Those anybody that's returning students, as far as if you took a DMA or you took a Math 171 in the past, everything should be the same, exactly the same as the previous semester in the spring or the summer, whatever you took your last math for Nash Community College. So what's happening now is I designed a few practice problems, and I can go to it and show you now what it should look like. So once you type the website in, you put your information in, hit sign in. And this is probably going to happen quite often where on my end, it's going to be some lagging on campus as far as here. So this is something we just have to deal with. Your courses should pop up. You shouldn't have to go through all this, but hopefully everybody sees it. Does everybody see your Math 171 link in my MathLess Plus? Okay, hopefully we get everybody. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.